Price of Unity, Part 2. The Rithar had not been defeated by strength, but by resolve. In the end, it was humanity's unrelenting will to survive and adapt that tipped the scales in their favor. The invaders had underestimated Earth in every conceivable way: their fractured nations, their chaotic nature, their disorganization. They had believed such disunity would be humanity's undoing. Instead, it had been their greatest weapon. The invasion had ended with Earth's victory, but the cost had been immense. Major cities lay in ruins, and the scars of battle would linger for generations. Yet, amid the devastation, there was an unexpected prize: the technology left behind by the Rithar. Humanity had inherited their most prized possession, the stars themselves. The alien forces had come with ships, weapons, and vast knowledge of spacefaring technology. The moment the last of the Rithar forces had been driven from Earth, the remaining survivors scrambled to reverse engineer their technology. Earth's fractured nations, once divided by borders and ideologies, now had a new cause to unite under: the stars. It had started slowly. The first tentative colonies were established on distant moons and planets, each led by different nations with their own designs and dreams. Humanity's fractured state hadn't magically healed, nor had it grown more unified. If anything, the divide between nations had only deepened in the aftermath. Old rivalries resurfaced, borders remained intact, and the wounds of war lingered. But now, humanity had a way to expand, to grow, and to reach beyond the limits of their fractured world. The Uralar Council, now observing from afar, had been watching these developments closely. The humans, it seemed, had learned how to harness the power of the stars, and their former divisions no longer mattered in the same way. While Earth remained disjointed, each nation now had the means to extend its influence off-world. Colonies were springing up across the galaxy, each carrying with it the imprint of its home nation's legacy, but the collective power of humanity was undeniable. No one could ignore them anymore. The Rithar had underestimated them, but so too had the Uralar. The fracturing of humanity had been their greatest mistake, and perhaps the key to Earth's future. The Council gathered again, their cold, crystalline faces reflecting the swirling holograms of distant human worlds. Their observations had been right in some ways, but in others, they had failed to grasp the complexities of humanity. Tal-Kal spoke, his voice somber as he addressed the assembly. Earth's victory was unexpected. They have inherited Rithar technology, and with it, they are expanding. But what of their disunity? Surely they cannot continue to function as a fractured species in the vastness of space. Rithar, always the pragmatic one, was less concerned about humanity's internal struggles. Disunity has not stopped them. They fight among themselves, yes, but when one of their own is attacked, when their colonies are threatened, they unite with surprising speed. Their response is immediate, coordinated, and overwhelming. The defense of Earth itself, and now their colonies, has proven this. Zirtok's voice rang out with frustration. So they remain divided, yet they are stronger than we ever imagined. This disjointedness is not a weakness, but a system of rapid adaptation. It gives them a unique strength we cannot comprehend. The Council's holograms flickered as a new report came in. A transmission from a human colony on a distant planet called Terra Nova. A nearby fleet belonging to the Rithar had attacked the colony, thinking it vulnerable due to its isolated nature. But within hours of the assault, Earth had responded. The United Nations, what remained of it, had called on every human colony, regardless of its national origin, to aid in the defense. It wasn't about politics anymore, it was about survival, and Earth's fractured nations had put aside their differences for one common purpose: to protect humanity from extinction. Rithar studied the incoming data. They did it again. The divided nations fought as one, even though they couldn't seem to agree on much else. Earth's colonies rallied together. Their warships are heading to Terra Nova, each one a different nation's fleet, but all aligned in defense. Tal-Kal leaned forward, his gaze narrowing. They haven't unified. not in the way we understand unity, but it is a unity of a different sort. When one human world is threatened, they will defend it as though it were their own. Zitok was quiet for a long time before speaking. We miscalculated. We thought that by leaving them fractured, they would remain weak and disorganized. But we see now that this disunity allows them to remain flexible, adaptable. Their wars, their conflicts, they have not been a hindrance. They have been the crucible in which their ability to survive was forged. Another transmission interrupted the meeting, this time from Solari, a human colony on the edge of a war-torn star system. The alien threat was growing, but again the humans were adapting. Their fleets, as fractured as their world was, were now a terrifyingly efficient machine when coordinated, and their colonies were fiercely loyal to each other. Earth had gone from a divided, fragile species to one capable of building an interstellar defense network. Imagine this, Rithar mused. A galaxy where every corner has a human presence, each one acting as a small, independent empire. But when one falls, when one colony is attacked, all of humanity will rise. All of humanity will respond as though it were one. Zitok shook his head. It is no longer about their planet or their nations. It is about them. All of them. The human race has become something we didn't anticipate. A fractured species bound by a singular drive to survive. Tulkal's voice was grim. We thought they would tear themselves apart, that their division would be their undoing. Instead, their disunity has given them a resilience and power that we and the Rithar failed to recognize. Rithar paused, then looked directly at Tulkal. We were wrong. Earth will not fall. And if humanity continues to adapt, if they continue to rally around this new unity of necessity, they will become a force unlike any other. On Earth's newly colonized worlds, as the last of the Rithar forces fled from Terra Nova, a message was broadcast across the stars. Humanity stands united. We fight not as nations, but as one. We defend one another. We will never let another world fall. It was a message not of unity in the traditional sense, but of an understanding that humanity's greatest strength lay not in perfect harmony, but in their ability to stand together, fractured though they may be, when the stakes were highest. The invaders had unwittingly created a new form of unity, a shared purpose in defense of the human race. And so, despite their fractured nations, despite the occasional conflicts that would still arise, humanity had made a promise to the stars. All of Earth would rise to defend them. And the galaxy would soon learn that nothing, not even the most formidable of invaders, could break the spirit of humanity.